This video is brought to you by PlayTracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, and more. Stick around to the end to find out more. The long-awaited big Ubisoft update is here, but it's probably not the update you were hoping for regarding their upcoming projects. Instead, it's a major announcement about the company itself as Ubisoft continues to look for a path forward in this crazy industry. Ubisoft is going through a complete reshaping of its company, splitting into different creative houses, as they call them, and dividing their IP across the company as they did with Vantage Studios, the Ubisoft subsidiary that Tencent holds a major investment in now. Each of these creative houses will have their own leadership, with the hope that more focused teams will get games out at a more efficient pace. This has also led to the cancellation of 6 different games that were in development, including the long-awaited Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. 7 games were also delayed to provide more time for development, and that most likely includes the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake that was speculated to be out early this spring. I just made a big predictions of 2026 episode a couple weeks ago, and thought that Q1 would be when Ubisoft shares their lineup plans for the year ahead. I guess I was right about Ubisoft announcing their plans, but we won't be hearing or seeing anything about the Division 3, or the next Far Cry, Ghost Recon, or anything else Ubisoft is working on for some time yet, it seems. In a lengthy statement, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot provided some explanation on how the company is restructuring and what they'll be focusing on going forward. This includes a mandate for people to return to work in the offices 5 days a week. We are transforming Ubisoft's operating model to produce exceptional quality games on the 2 core pillars of our strategy: open-world adventures and games-as-a-service native experiences, said Guillemot. At the center of this transformation are our creative houses, integrated business units now combining production and publishing, and therefore unifying the gamer relationship. Each one is built around a clear genre and brand focus, with full responsibility and financial ownership, led by dedicated leadership teams. It is a radical move, relying on a more decentralized creative organization with faster decision-making and best-in-class cross-functional core services supporting and serving each creative house. On one hand, Ubisoft changing its leadership structure to be less centralized sounds like a good move. The company has a long history of management issues and, much like its games, became too bloated for its own good. That said, what I'm not seeing in all of this planning is any changes at the very top of the company that led them down this path, and that gives me pause in having any faith that the problems at Ubisoft are actually being fixed. Ubisoft chased the live service golden goose harder than any other major publisher. They canceled a litany of games in that pursuit, which cost thousands of people their jobs and years of their lives working on dead-end projects. Leadership at the company, at least publicly, has really not taken any responsibility for the vision that brought Ubisoft to this point. The first of these subsidiaries, Vantage Studios, still has Charlie Guillemot, son of Yves, as one of its co-CEOs. So is it really changing the management of these subsidiaries if the people who are in charge of the company in the first place are just changing their titles? I'm sure the people working at Ubisoft wouldn't think so, and from talking with a few, it sounds like most are confused and unhappy with leadership not taking accountability. The best parallel I can point to in this situation is the demise of traditional gaming media. Google has essentially destroyed the SEO ecosystem as AI answers have siphoned away all the traffic from people actually clicking on the sources. This has led to an exceptional amount of layoffs in the games media space, with 0 executives taking accountability for putting all of their eggs in the SEO basket in the first place. Completely unsurprising, obviously. That's the world we live in, where the people at the top make the bad decisions that everyone else pays for in the end. And then when a company announces it's making changes, those same executives are just moved around the company rather than restructuring leadership in any meaningful way. In the press release announcing the changes coming to Ubisoft, it basically says the company will be doing the same thing it has been doing for the last decade. The new operating model will further empower the execution of the group's strategy, centered on open-world adventures and games-as-a-service native experiences, supported by targeted investments, deeper specialization, and cutting-edge technology, including accelerated investments behind player-facing generative AI. So if Ubisoft's new move is to continue focusing on bloated open-world games and more live service projects, just under new names with decentralized leadership, but still ultimately led by the Guillemot family, then what's really changing? And more investment in Gen AI when the gaming community has largely and vocally been very opposed to it. Great. I don't think it's a coincidence that both the head of the Assassin's Creed franchise and now the head of the Division franchise have left the company over the last 3 months during all of this turmoil. Oh, wait. Sorry. I'm getting new information that the head of the Assassin's Creed franchise didn't voluntarily leave, as Ubisoft said, but was dismissed and is now suing the company for damages. Fancy that. Gotta love corporate spin, right? Long-term company talent leaving as quickly as they are doesn't lend much confidence to these changes that seem to be largely coming from the top down, rather than listening to the people actually making the games at these studios. I've covered the struggles of Ubisoft a lot here on Unpacked. The company has been in turmoil for years now due to multiple rounds of layoffs, with another round coming in just a couple weeks on February 12th. I personally don't think Ubisoft is going to crater or close entirely, but this restructure definitely feels like the last gasp moment at making something work before the company starts selling off assets and closing more studios. Or the Gilmo family going down with the ship, albeit in some really fancy golden lifeboats. I think Ubisoft's troubles are far from over. There's a clear player fatigue for these types of games that the company traditionally develops. At least in the online space, I had seen way more interest in the Prince of Persia remake, the return of Splinter Cell, a hope for the return of Rayman, and other dormant Ubisoft properties that could have brought them some much needed positive PR. Now the Prince of Persia remake is cancelled, Splinter Cell's remake is nowhere to be seen, and there's talk of making Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six annualized billionaire brands, whatever that means, in the press release detailing the company's strategy going forward. That may be enticing to shareholders, but for the average person like me or you, just sounds like more milking of aging franchises. With even more layoffs just a couple weeks away at Ubisoft, it's going to be some time before we have any idea if this restructuring plan will bear any fruit. I feel for all the people in that company working under so much uncertainty, and I personally hope that Ubisoft sorts itself out, as they've delivered a number of my favorite games and franchises over the years. But as we keep revisiting this evolving story with not a word of accountability from the top, I continue to feel less and less optimistic about it all. The good news is that apparently Beyond Good and Evil 2 will outlast Ubisoft at this point.
This video is brought to you by Play Tracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, and more. Play Tracker works by connecting to various gaming platforms and combining all your data in one place. It offers a unified cross-platform social experience, advanced game library labeling and sorting, fun challenges and progression system, and stats about games and the types of players who enjoy them. Play Tracker is for all kinds of gamers, like this one.
My top tags across all platforms are dating sim and psychological horror. I'm sure that says nothing about me as a person.
And this one.
My mate Captain Toe Jam 96 and I have a lot of games in common. We should tackle some challenges together.
And even me! I'm better than all of you. Unite your gaming multiverse with Play Tracker today and join the official Second Wind Guild to unlock exclusive profile decorations by playing games recommended by us, a group of ostensibly professional gamers with allegedly great taste in games. Ooh.